With the arrival of episode 124 of Dragon Ball Super, this means that we only have 7 episodes until Dragon Ball Super comes to an end. Now, that may open up the door for a potential continuation or the permanent end, which I doubt it's the permanent end, but regardless of whatever it may be, we still have only 7 episodes until we'll be done with Dragon Ball for a while. And so it's kind of sad, really. I mean, I know I already covered this in my separate video. It's taken me a moment to really process the fact that Dragon Ball Super will be gone for a while. Even if it does come back, it's going to be gone for at least a year or so. I would assume so, because we have a movie coming out later this year. So that means that we won't have, like, Dragon Ball to look forward to every single Saturday night, which it sucks, because I've enjoyed being able to talk about Dragon Ball for the past few years now, and now knowing that it's going to be kind of gone in 7 weeks now, sad. So anyways, besides all of that, let's talk about this episode. So episode 124 of Dragon Ball Super. We started off with Vegeta and Goku versus Jiren, and then we ended up with Frieza versus Dyspo, and Gohan added on as well. Now, before I get into, the Frieza and Dyspo and, the Gohan stuff, I want to talk about, the Goku, Vegeta, and Jiren stuff. So, that overall, that first part of the episode, for the most part, nothing really happened. Like, not a lot really happened. I mean, we see Jiren, blocking Goku and Vegeta's attacks and all of that, and overall, he's basically just getting pinned. It looks like he's getting pushed back, but eventually, as the attack continues, he just, charges up, and he knocks them both back like it's basically nothing. So, overall, it does not look like these two forms that Goku and Vegeta have is enough to bring him down. So, they're going to have to go even further. So, the new transformation Vegeta got, which I already talked about, even if it puts him at the level of Kaioken times 20, that's still not enough for Vegeta to even be near where Jiren's level is. Because remember, Goku went Ultra Instinct, and Ultra Instinct, from what we know, is way stronger than Kaioken times 20 Super Saiyan Blue, and even then, that still wasn't enough to bring Jiren down. So, for Vegeta now to probably be at the same level as Goku's times 20 Kaioken Super Saiyan Blue, he still needs to get a step higher to finally be in that level where Goku's at, and Goku needs to be able to achieve that level once again before they can even have a good fight with Jiren, because for right now, what we're seeing, it's just like the appetizer before the real fight begins. And since we do know that the show's going to be ending in about 7 weeks, anything could possibly happen. For all we know, Goku and Vegeta, they could possibly job and lose. I mean, just imagine this. What if they both got wrecked or something, which I doubt. At the end of the day, this is Dragon Ball to Shonen. But I mean, even then, though, there is a possibility that Jiren will wipe them out. He'll just knock them all off. He'll sit there with his arms crossed and all that. And he turns around and he's like, I want to wish all the universes back. Or I want to wish all the universes to be merged into one or something. That would be very cool. I mean, that would be the cliffhanger to Dragon Ball Super. But I mean, even if that does or does not happen, or if Frieza wins in the end, which, like I said, I still doubt that, but even then, though, it does leave a bit of, like, wonder what could possibly happen. I mean, there is a potential possibility that Vegeta and Goku's combined strength will still not be enough to bring this man down. So I am looking forward to seeing where it's going to go, and I'm pretty hyped up for it. But when it comes to the art and animation of that first segment of the episode, it didn't look that good. Yeah, it didn't look good at all. I mean, it was okay in some parts, but overall it didn't look, amazing. Even the final flash, I guess the best part about that segment of the episode was the final flash scene. Goku scene 2 with the Kamehameha, they both look kind of good, but personally it looked like they put a lot more effort into the Vegeta final flash than anything else. The Vegeta final flash just looked way better. So, anyways, let's move into the important stuff of this episode of Dragon Ball Super. So, Frieza and Dyspo get the spotlight for most of the episode, and Frieza and Dyspo are basically having, like, a warm-up match. They're, beating each other back and forth, and Frieza's basically making fun of, Dyspo, like, Frieza always does to any opponent he fights, just mocking him, putting him down, and he's like, you're a coward, or you're only good at running away, and Dyspo backing it up by either punching or kicking Frieza, and it's a very entertaining little fight, and all that, just seeing them go back and forth at each other, and even though most of it you could kind of consider not really that important or filler at the end of the day, before the main stuff that happened towards the end of the episode, it was still very enjoyable to watch, and like I said, I'm biased when it comes to Frieza. I really like Frieza, and so seeing, an episode focusing on Frieza, I appreciate that, I enjoy that, so, yeah, seeing Frieza just having an episode in some spotlight, he's going up against Dyspo, he's mocking him, it's something I enjoy, and just seeing that, it just puts a smile on my face. So, anyways, once all is said and done, Dyspo, he actually, he, like, goes through, like, a little bit of a transformation, and in that moment, I could have swore, I had, like, a feeling, like, was that, like, is he entering, like, Ultra Instinct? That's what I thought was going on. Now, obviously, I'm incorrect there, but, I mean, did anyone else think that when he saw Dyspo, like, you know, you couldn't see his eyes. His eyes were shaded out. He was looking down and all that, and Frieza was looking at him, and he's like, this energy and all that. Did anyone else think, like, Dyspo was, like, achieving some version of Ultra Instinct or something? Because that's what it looked like to me. It legit looked like that to me, just because of how Dyspo was expressing himself in that moment. It could have just been art style choice or whatever, but just the way it looked like that. And I was like, is this man about to go Ultra Instinct against Frieza? That's going to be pretty hype, because that would mean that Frieza might get a first glimpse at, you know, an opponent that has Ultra Instinct that he has to fight, and it might make it to where Frieza could achieve that form, because we know eventually that's bound to happen. I mean, it's bound to happen, because Frieza, we know he's a prodigy. It was stated in the resurrection of Frieza's arc and all that when he got revived. Frieza is a prodigy. He's never really trained, and when he finally did train, he achieved Golden Frieza, which put him really high up, and so if he was to train again, and if he was to focus on different things, obviously he would get to a very high level. So, I mean, it's a possibility one day he will achieve Ultra Instinct or some form of it, which I do look forward to, because I highly doubt Frieza at the end of the day is ever probably going to turn out to be a good guy. He seems like just a guy that just cannot be redeemed at all, and so we'll see where that goes. So, with all that out of the way, though, let's talk about the Frieza moment where he transforms. Okay, I know for a fact that animation has been reused about 3, 4, maybe 5 times by now, but I know it's gotten old. It's gotten stale, like that animation being reused over and over. But even then, though, I just cannot help but say that is just epic. It still looks good. Art animation of that scene looks really good, and even though it is being reused constantly, I can't help but get a little bit hyped when Frieza just transforms into, you know, Golden Frieza. He has his, you know, known stance, what we know and all that from Frieza, and he's just looking at his opponent and all that. I love it. I love that a lot. Like I said, I know it's very cheap on Toei to reuse that animation consistently, but I just really like Frieza. I really like that transformation, and especially the music. I think what really wins me over is probably the music alongside of it. I just like that Frieza theme song that starts playing when he goes transformation mode. He just seems like a demon in that moment. Like, the man's becoming like a demon, and he's facing his opponent. He's like a final villain boss status mode, like final boss, final villain, looking at his opponent. I'm like, that's cool. So, yeah. Anyways, Gohan eventually has to intervene, because after Frieza, you know, initiates, you know, Golden Frieza, Dyspo transforms and stuff, Frieza's getting, you know, the work and all that, getting completely destroyed in a way, Gohan jumps in, and kind of says, hey, let's work together and all of that, let's, you know, take this man down. Eventually, Frieza has to make, like, a laser cage with, like, his death beams to keep Dyspo in a cage to kind of limit his movement, and Gohan has to fight him in a square-up, like, brawl. And props to Gohan for that. I mean, even though Dyspo was at a disadvantage, because, I mean, he was contained in a cage, props to Gohan for being able to, at the very least, react and fight the man, and eventually he did actually manage to win, at the cost of him getting eliminated as well. Frieza knocked him out alongside of Dyspo, and I know many are going to be quick to say, that's disappointing. It's very disappointing that Gohan was eliminated, and in some ways, I agree with that. I do agree with that, because Gohan, I like him a lot, and I've discussed him many times in separate videos, so I'm not going to get back into it right now, but I like Gohan a lot, and with this, you know, new arc, the Tournament of Power, Gohan has had time to shine. He has. Do I feel like it was enough time? Personally, no, I don't think it was enough time, but still, the way he went out, I don't think was bad. I don't think it was a bad way for him to leave the fighting arena. I mean, he did take out Dyspo, which was in the top 3, and also Gohan did something very selfless like he normally does when it comes to him fighting, so I thought it was really nice. So, I personally have no problem with it, but I do wish Gohan had more time to shine. I mean, there could have been so much more. I mean, there was so much potential with Gohan's character. I mean, he could have achieved another transformation. He could have had a really good fight against Rin or whatever with Goku and Vegeta. I mean, anything could have happened, but we didn't get to see that, and It sucks. I really do hope this is not the last time we really get to see Gohan in the spotlight, because since the series is ending in 7 episodes, and it's probably coming back, like I said, I doubt it's gone for good. This might be the last time we see Gohan for a very long time. Even when it probably does return, this could potentially be the last time we see Gohan really be relevant in the fighting scene of Dragon Ball, and that's kind of sad when you think about it. So, yeah. So, Gohan fans, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about this basically, or probably being the final moment of Gohan for a good long while, or a couple arcs in the future when it ever returns? So, anyways, getting off of that, let's talk about the final scene, okay? Let's talk about the preview for next week's episode. Toppo. Now, if you haven't seen the preview, go watch it, or in the video here, because I don't want to spoil you. But, anyways, getting back into it, Toppo. Toppo, as we know, he's been a candidate for the next God of Destruction for a while. We all were fully aware of this. If you've been paying attention to Toppo and all that, we knew he was in line to become the next God of Destruction. And in the preview for next week's episode, Toppo transforms, or he has a different ki. Like, his color of his ki is completely different. His energy looks like God ki. It looks like energy of destruction. What we saw when Frieza and Goku were dealing with energy of destruction, when they were trying to not get erased, when they were holding it back and all of that, that's what the ki looks like from Toppo in the preview for next week. He looks entirely different, and there's a lot of questions I have about that. I mean, from Toppo's character and his exchange with Goku in the past and exchange with everybody else, he basically said that Goku and him were on the same level. And then all of a sudden he has this God transformation or whatever. Now, I don't know exactly, maybe he finally unlocked it in next episode, or he's had it all along, but there needs to be a little bit more clarification, because he does look a lot different than he normally does, and I really do wonder what's going on there. Regardless, though, there could be a potential possibility some of our characters could get erased, because if they're erased, does that necessarily mean that Toppo killed them? Because killing and erased, I mean, it might seem similar to us, but to gods, it might be completely different, because they never existed, so they never died in the first place. So, I do wonder if Toppo might erase, like, 17 or maybe even Frieza. Since we are getting closer to the end of Super, who knows, that could be it. So, yeah, I just wanted to talk about that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. How do you feel about this episode? Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? Please be honest. And I love you guys. Thank you so much. And if you enjoy my content, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And if you want to get notified for whenever I upload a video, please click the bell icon down below next to the subscribe button. And if for some reason you don't want to, click the bell icon for me, at the very least, do it for other YouTubers you care about. It will help them out a lot, and I will truly appreciate that. So, love you guys. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Stay safe and have many great days ahead of you. Chibi out.